Welcome to the bold analysis. Rigathi Gachagua was highly expected to make a major statement, and it was really expected that he was going to unveil his new political party. But even after the journalists took the time and traveled to Wamunyoro, Rigathi Gachagua has postponed it to May. A good move? Strategy or lack of it? I want to explain for you in this podcast how Rigathi Gachagua behind the scene intrigues of how Rigathi outplayed the deep state by making that move. Kindly subscribe to our channel. We are this month of February. We are supporting this lady here, Josephine Wambua. Josephine here really is a single mother of 3 children. The child she's carrying, the husband left when she was 2 months expectant of that child. She underwent through the operation, all the 3 children, and including this one. But because of the hardship, she hawks these watermelons, carrying the 5-month-old baby on her back. Something that really has not been easy for her. But of course, that is the only option available to feed the family. And so we, after getting up with her, we opted to help Josephine pay the house rent for 1 year. And after paying that, we'll also be able to offset the school fees for the child. She has some pending bills last 3 months of the house rent, and establish a business for her so that she would run a business while settling somewhere in a shadow, or rather in a room, and take care of the young child. If you can, I ask you to partake of this project. I know we are used to the huge ones, but of course, I found this noble. Sometimes it's always good to support humanity. This is the raw image of humanity. Kidogo kidogo hujaza kibaba.
Ni venye nauzanga melon. Hii ndio kazi yenye niko nayo kwa saa hii. Ndio niweze kulisha watoto.
Melon napata pesa ngapi?
Melon napata faida ya 200 na nunua na 200. Ndio kwa saa hii juu sina kazi nyingine na niko na watoto, ndio niweze kulisha watoto. Juu si huyu peke yake, niko na watoto wengine 2, sasa wote ni 3.
Kuna watoto 3?
Yeah.
Na wako class ngapi?
Ule first born, second born nampelekanga daycare. Huyu juu ni mdogo, natembea na yeye.
Na
baba yake aliacha kama niko na mimba ya miezi 2, akaniambia ameenda kazi, hajawahi rudi.
Sijui utamchukua na huko, nataka watu wamuone. Just kesi yake iko very, nataka experience.
Babake alitoka kwa nyumba, akaniambia ameenda kazi na hajawahi rudi mpaka wale. Hiyo ilikuwa ni last year mwezi wa 4 date 29.
Already have a, we needed 150,000. The only that is the only deficit we have. We'll be closing this fundraiser on Tuesday. So kindly partake and support us so that we can be a blessing to this young girl. Ladies and gentlemen, what do you take? Rigathi, I was telling my one of my producers here, my cameraman, in fact, I was telling him, when I saw the journalists in Wamunyoro, I was telling him that the mainstream media is so naive to think that a political party can be launched in a press briefing, in an interview. And I was so sure, they were so sure there's no political party that was going to be launched or unveiled in Wamunyoro. Yeah, it was just the interview. But then what happened? Rigathi held a meeting with some allies on Sunday afternoon. And as you can see the photos here, he had a delegation of the MPs that do support him on Sunday afternoon. He even skipped a church service. Was supposed to attend a church service. Yesterday on Saturday night, I did an analysis that the government was expected to sneak to Muranga, to Nyeri, especially, as to be specific, Karatina, for some church service, just to try to counterattack Rigathi. But then that did not happen. And if you want to know that there were high stakes on this media or rather engagement Rigathi was supposed to have.
Naambiwa huko nyumbani wamama wanapika kutoka saa 10 mpaka saa 11. Ndio saa 12 hasa nikugoja.
Now, even some locals were seen milling around Rigathi's residence, awaiting that announcement, and I want to believe all that was mobilized. And when the interview poster came out, I wanted to look at this poster. When this poster came out, I saw it actually after when I immediately came out of the service. I think it came out around, if you're keen, this poster came out around 4:30 on Sunday. Remember, if the marketing was supposed to be done, it was supposed to have been done as early as Friday or Saturday. And then it was only Kikuyu stations. So the country was paying attention, and of course that was very strategic, because if you look at the poster, it was only Kikuyu stations. Then people paid attention, hearing that, you know what, probably he wants to unleash a political party that is aligned to Kikuyu agenda, something. But of course, that is what politics is. And I made an observation. All the mainstream Kikuyu vernacular stations gave Rigathi the audience. This tells you that while you can run dismissive narratives, it is not easy. It is not politically practical to dismiss Rigathi Gachagua. I have to have a look at this screenshot. This is TikTok viewership. 1 million people. This is 1 million people who are following that interview. That was the viewership. That was TikTok, because it also went live on TikTok. At some point, there were some reports that communication around that place was jammed, or even some parts of Mount Kenya also experiencing blackouts. But Rigathi played a script, and he outplayed the Ruto team by making a statement that is not going to name, that is, it was not naming the party, and will give that explanation in May.
Gwenda kwira andu a nyumba itu ni ndiramuiguire ati thondeke nyumba njega ina foundation njega, thingo njega cia mahiga momu ma kiganjo, igitwo na chuma, ikirwo mabati maria matauraga, ikirwo mirango miega mitungu ya mbao ya kemfa, ikirwo ngiriro gutari mundu ngitonya. Nyumba ĩyo nĩ thondekete na nĩ njega na nĩ nene, na nĩ nyumba ya Kenya ĩrĩ yothe na munyaka. Andu othe marenda kuingira nyumba ĩyo, niĩ ona ndiretĩkia tondũ ndeciria gũthondeka nyumba ya kĩrĩma. Ngari itu ĩtayari ĩrĩ showroom, nyumba itu ĩrĩ showroom, na injini nĩ njerũ iracina muhu, maguru ni maria ma Michelin, dereva ni dereva wa tene etagwo Rigathi wa Gachagua, dereva wina experience utangikia ngari mutaro i showroom. No gatagate ga showroom na stage yahota kuigirwo mahiga ni mundu utonde ndimui, koguo ndigũtangatha namba plate umuthi tondu ndaruta namba plate yahota kuigirwo mahiga etana kinya stage, na stage kuihuiria andu atia majetereire dereva eho, ngari iriho na itayari. Tina thina munene muno, andu marenda kumenya rangi ni uriku manjie guthondeka t-shirt mweri wa gatano niguo tukaruguria ngari itu tutangathe number plate andu mamenye rangi ni uriku twanjie kuhingura maobici-inĩ wa branches na twanjie kuruta andu kuria twamatwarĩte kwa UDA tukimekiraga gatagati ka umuthi na mweri wa gatano wĩra ũrĩa ndĩ naguo na andũ arĩa ndĩ nao nĩ ũmwe nĩ ndĩrenda andũ a minji kenda moke nigetha tumahe ite nĩ tũrenda andũ a Kuria moke tumahe ite nĩ tũrenda andũ a Kalenjin moke tumahe ite Maathai nĩ tũmahete andũ a magwĩtwo Thamburu nĩ tũmahete Githii nĩ tũmahete Ikamba nĩ tũmahete Baruya nĩ tũmahete harĩ andũ meho tutahete na tũkwenda kĩama gĩkĩ gitu gĩkorwo na ũthiũ wa Kenya.
Now if you ask me, that is what politics is. You know, I saw it, and when I saw, because of course we're speaking in Kikuyu, so when I saw it in one of these news outlets, I was smiling. I was telling, I knew that in politics you need just to create that anxiety. Anyway, even if it is going to make it later, the major announcement was that the party will be unveiled in May. I don't know why people are saying he has not said anything. That is what he said. If you look at Raila Odinga, Raila alikuwa anaita watu when he's organizing a rally, says Raila is going to make a big statement. Then people will gather in that place expecting that the rally is going to be huge, only for him to go there and say, you know, this and that, and not even making any big statement. So when the poster came out, it was all clear that there was an maybe announcement of the political party. But you know what he did? He actually got an airtime. Very good airtime. He got airtime with the Kikuyu constituency. He actually got that airtime. I'm very sure the media houses, I'm very sure they knew that Rigathi is not going to launch anything. But they also wanted that airtime because with Rigathi interview, it was good content for the newsroom. So he got an opportunity, and speaking for close to close to 2 hours, he was actually dismantling William Samoei Arap Ruto, breaking it down. And there is something I'm saying. Let me tell you. Much as we may not buy it, there is something the president is doing, and for me personally, it's also irritating me. And I feel it's irritating many people from Mount Kenya. This narrative of Kikuyu versus Somali, I don't know, Kikuyu versus that isolation thing. It's irritating. And even if people don't like Gachagua, even those who hate him might be forced to think about a unity around him because they are isolated. I once did an analysis here of Virongo Kangata saying, sometimes if you beat people, they can also retaliate. And this is it. The way the mobilization was done for the whole newsroom to be there is something that is telling. And he actually said something why he didn't launch. He said that there were strategic plans for president to launch many parties to confuse the region, and these parties would even field presidential candidates so that they divide. So they're taking time to do due diligence and not really rush with that decision. He spoke in Kikuyu, but I think this is a snippet of that. So things really happened, and the president team, they were all set to counter Rigathi. I realized NTV even had a dispatch. They dispatched some reporters to where? They dispatched some reporters to Eric Wamumbi's residence in Madeira. That is Rigathi Gachagua's member of parliament, so that he could respond immediately Rigathi finished. And that is why I'm telling you that Rigathi was going to unveil, and there was something that was expected.
When he says that he is separating, he said he is divorcing Mount Kenya from the Kenya Kwanza government. He's also asking the leaders from Mount Kenya region, so whoever wants to follow this divorce should come now and not later, when we are now into a new era and this new political vehicle that we're going to launch. do you think then that Rigathi Gachagua does not have influence in the region when he speaks about divorcing Mount Kenya from Kenya Kwanza?
Rigathi Gachagua is not Mount Kenya, and Mount Kenya is not Rigathi Gachagua. I have a very huge following in this constituency. I went to his backyard in his own village. I mobilized people in an open ground the day before yesterday, and they came willingly and they told me, because of development, stay with President William Ruto. So it is automatic that Rigathi Gachagua is lying. And I have told you, the people of Mount Kenya are wise. When they realize that you are misguiding them, just like Rigathi Gachagua is misguiding the people of Mount Kenya now, they will leave him. And they are going to leave him, because I have spent 3 weeks in this constituency, every day, including today, doing meetings, consulting with people, not in a locked door meeting, open field, where I welcome people, they come and we discuss the way forward. And people are telling me, when we were elected in 2017, we started fighting the government of Uhuru Kenyatta. Our project stalled. So we have been elected in 2022. When they thought we are going to unlock our project, then we start fighting the government. They have told me clearly, stay in government and deliver to us. And I like what Rigathi Gachagua has said.
I think there was a high-profile team that were put just there to try to counter that. And when Wamumbi then was asked after Rigathi failed to, they found themselves saying things that, to me, they didn't expect that to happen, and now running some smear narrative, something I would want you to get here. Now, you will realize that even the bloggers now emerged with several propaganda. This photo has been shared. Let me just show you one here. I wish I can get it. Yeah. Yes, this photo has been shared of President of Rigathi Gachagua trying to show that he doesn't have a direction. In fact, he doesn't have a political party, and that failure of giving, or rather postponing that unveiling to May, has been constructed by the state bloggers to mean a man who does not have a direction, or rather is rudderless, or he doesn't have it, which I don't think is even it. I don't know, and someone should tell me. I don't know why state hires bloggers to amplify things that probably don't even exist. Yeah, I don't see your part, and I feel it's a lot of wastage of money. Maybe let me not belabor that, because that is also some other people's jobs. Now, the question here is this. Rigathi carefully decided not to unleash that new party. And according to him, it is in his interest not to rush with it. So in this podcast, I want to explain why Rigathi is so careful about that new political party. He's so careful about it. I want to explain more into that. Kindly subscribe to our channel and remember to support our girl Josephine. Let's rescue Josephine, tumfungulie biashara, tumlipie rent, so that afanye biashara mahali ambapo sasa amekaa, instead of walking with the child, and we believe that God is going to bless us. There is something going on. Rigathi is looking at the IBC reconstitution. And why? When you unveil a political party, the next thing that you should be doing is register members, and I'm not saying that is a responsibility of IBC, but more importantly is to do a vote registration drive. That is very critical, a vote registration drive. And if that vote registration drive is something that is there, because you can't register a party and sit there just waiting, no, you've registered a party, and so that is all set. It doesn't work that way. So he's looking at May. Remember that commission they they're really working around the clock. They're supposed to work around the clock, even though I realize again someone again went to court of the president picking Adam Solo there. I kila kitu na Kenya kwanza ni madrama king sana. Ruto alienda kupick watu wa IBC, then he's picking someone who works in his office, Adam Solo, who works in his office as an IBC panel. He knew very well that someone will go to court to challenge that, and that will forestall the process. But I'm seeing that why Rigathi is also pushing it to May. The other issue is something is happening in NADCO. NADCO proposed to scrap ORPP. ORPP is Office of Registration of Political Parties. To scrap that office and create, by an act of parliament, another commission known as Independent Political Parties Regulatory Commission, IPPRC. Now, ORPP is challenging this, and they're asking a question in terms of that transition. What about the data that they hold for political parties? So I think this is also something that Rigathi is paying attention to, and his technocrats and the team around him, as much as ever, is looking at how that will go, because you cannot launch, you can really, because in terms of picking a political party, there's not something is said there, and I'm going to explain more. You need to be so extra careful. Your state is set up a party with all the structures. The other issue, I think Rigathi is exploring pushing a national image, and much as being, of course, the meetings in Wamunyoro has exposed him as someone who is just looking at Mount Kenya, but it will also be in the interest of the party to attract some fellows beyond the region. So probably he's exploring that, and we would expect the new phase of the engagement should then not attract more, not really look at the Mount Kenya more, but also move across the country. I don't want to believe that Rigathi doesn't have friends, even in Western, in Nyanza, in Mombasa, in Coast, and Rift Valley. You know, these structures are there, and if those structures, if the party does not have a structure, then Wiper Party can lend its grassroots network to Rigathi so that Rigathi can come out of Mount Kenya. I'm also looking at Raila's AU elections. Raila's AU elections is a very big thing, and at this time, number one, it could not launch on this time. First, I need to say you cannot launch a party in a press briefing. I don't even, people were expecting a party to be launched there. Those people were actually ambitious. So, but Raila's AU elections have a very eye-reaching, significant dynamic in our politics. What happens if he loses that election? What happens if he wins? What happens? The future of ODM engagement with Raila Odinga, with William Ruto, is keen. And I think by May, also the budget process is going on. So the country might be really raising its voice against the administration. Now, someone asked me, Kevin, what do you think about the new party? Rigathi have said that party already have structures with all lead structures and constitution and all that. I tend to think that Rigathi has not registered a new party. I tend to think that he has acquired another party, he has procured another party, and is working around a rebranding. Why? He knows, Rigathi has been around this country for some time. He knows very well that the process of acquiring a new party will face several hurdles. You can go there, it can hang, you can be told this, can be told that. And even this UDA was a party that was acquired from somewhere. So probably that is what I see, that he's acquiring a new party. And then he was asked something about that vehicle. Is it going to be the driver? He was hesitant to explain. Being the driver is whether he's going to be the party leader. Probably I think he will stand a bit behind as a chairman or a patron, but not really as the party leader. He was a bit hesitant. For people who understand Kikuyu, someone was telling me he was a bit hesitant on committing himself as the driver of that vehicle. But give it to him, he has gotten a platform that he dearly needed, so that he could crack down on the president's narratives and policies, something that he will only do by pushing a narrative that is going to make an announcement about a new political party. And by the way, the whole country was glued, even though we were not understanding, but we were really following because we knew something new was going to come. Thank you.